Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well and thanks for being here. So this is another timeless reading that's for somebody out there. My intention is that it will find the person or people it's meant for and at the right time. It's definitely not for everyone, so if the storyline that emerges is not resonating with you, it's probably not for you. You can still watch the whole reading because it's always an intention of mine that anyone who's drawn to one of my readings will gain something from it, whether that's an insight, a bit of wisdom, or just the opportunity to see something from a different angle. So if you happen to be here, thank you. I think you are meant to be here and I hope you'll get something from this reading. Now we'll just quickly do a love pause and then we'll get on with the reading. So the love pause is where we pause the video and we send love out into the universe. So if you prefer, you can do a little Ho'oponopono prayer here instead. And that's when you say the 4 sentences, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. So thanks to everyone who does do this. So the time to pause is now and the reading will start on the next slide. And here we are with the spread for this reading. If you're interested in the decks I've used, they will be listed in the description box. Now, this reading is a little bit ahead of schedule. I had to kind of rush it to finish it, and that's because we have a card here that's referring to the first quarter moon, and that's actually tomorrow, so I thought I'd better get it out today. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the 4 of Cups card, which is about someone who's dissatisfied with their current life. It usually means that life feels dull or frustrating. Now, in the traditional image, there's a person sitting there just looking at the 3 cups that represent their current life, and they're totally oblivious to the 4th cup that the universe is offering them. And it's either that they're not seeing the cup or they're just failing to recognize that that is the cup that's going to change their life. And I think I've used this example before, but it's like those rom-coms where the single girl can never find Mr. Right, and she doesn't realize until much later that the one that's right for her is the guy that's been her best friend, or it's the annoying guy who lives next door, or whatever. You know, it's that kind of thing where someone just doesn't see something for a long time. So anyway, the interesting thing in this particular image, though, is that the woman on this card is actually holding the 4th cup. So she's accepted the cup. Now, this person might not know yet that this is the cup that's going to make them very happy, but they've definitely taken the cup. And because it's the cup that the universe wanted them to take, it really is kind of like the Ace of Cups. But as I said, this might not be evident to this person just yet. That's an interesting start to the reading. I quite like it, though. I like that they're holding the Ace of Cups. Now, the card in the past position of the spread is the Moon card. So that's a bit of a heavy card. Now, the Moon relates to subconscious fears, illusions, a lack of clarity, and so on. And this card relates to Pisces. So I can definitely see that 4 of Cups being related to this Moon card. So this person was obviously in quite a dark place, and life was just a little bit of a foggy state, I think, for them. And so firstly, I can sort of see why they weren't able to enjoy their circumstances, but I can also see why they may not have noticed the 4th cup or wanted to reach out and accept it. I mean, if you're in a fog state where nothing's clear and everything that's going on is a little bit weird and unnerving, you'd have trouble knowing what was good and what wasn't. So this person might just not have felt like it was safe for them to take the 4th cup without really knowing what it might lead to. Oh, and as I was saying that, I just got the 3 cups this person had weren't just about things being dull and frustrating in their life. I think these were problematic cups. They were challenging cups. So it feels like these cups were a lot about dealing with people with issues, I guess. So like low vibrational people operating from their egos, creating problems, creating dramas, bit of the old deceitful, duplicitous, manipulative, all that kind of stuff behavior, people who spread negativity. So all of these cups that they had were just heavy cups that really weighed this person down. So life was actually hard work is what I'm getting. And so it did take them a while to accept the 4th cup, and then that kind of makes sense because, you know, they're probably expecting more of the same if that's what their life experiences has been. But I feel like they did eventually accept the cup, and when they did, it was a major breakthrough because, you know, I think Spirit has obviously been offering this cup for a while, and this person just wasn't able to take that on. Now, in the present position, we have the Page of Pentacles, which I tend to read as Virgo energy. So this is about someone starting something new and actively working to be good at it. They're motivated, they're learning the things they need to learn, and they're working on developing their skills. So I really do love the Page of Pentacles being the current energy, because it looks like those stagnant energies are over with. So this person was obviously previously just really stuck, and it felt like nothing was really going to go their way. But I guess this fourth cup has brought up or brought about a shift. So they've now found something to sink their teeth into and feel excited about, and it's getting them moving forward. And even though we don't have the Ace of Wands here, we actually have the Two of Wands in the future position. And that's making me smile, because the fact that there's no Ace of Wands here is confirming that this fourth cup really wasn't too exciting to look at in the beginning. There was nothing about the cup to spark this person's interest. But then when this person took the cup and started exploring it, they did find something to get excited about. And well, the Two of Wands card is actually the card that follows the Ace of Wands. So it's the opportunity that follows that initial spark. So even though in this person's life, this wasn't initiated by the spark, it still brought this person to the same next point, which is the opportunity, and it is an exciting opportunity. And if we go back to that rom-com scenario, it's like how the girl thinks nothing of the guy until something happens in the plot that allows her to see him in a different light, and then she finds herself becoming attracted to him. Now, I'm not suggesting this is a love story, but I think that rom-com example definitely does fit nicely. And I guess the fourth cup is like the Ace of Cups, like I said. So it is something that this person will love, and they'll experience a lot of happiness from it. Okay, so the Two of Wands card is about a new opportunity, and I'm drawn to the third oracle card here in this spread, which is titled Nature. So this is a lovely scene, and I'd normally think this was about someone getting outside and connecting with nature and grounding and so on, but it's actually the image on the card that's getting my attention this time. So it's a path for this person. So they're not meant to travel on the road like most people do, and they might have also expected that they would spend their life traveling on the road, but that's not for them. They're actually meant to take this lovely wandering path. This is the scenic route, and they're meant to take it. And the sun is streaming in through the trees, and it's bringing some of that light onto this path. And I just get that this is the light of divinity that's lighting the way. And that's such a lovely contrast from the moon energy that this person was in before. So we have the sun shining on this path. And the other thing that I'm seeing is that even though there isn't anyone else on this path, it is a cleared path. So other people have definitely walked this path before, and there will be people who will find this path and walk it as well. So even if this person steps onto this path and they see no one, they will actually meet others on this path. And those people will also be people who were led to this same path and who chose to take this path. So if you're not getting where I'm going, this is the spiritual path. And so everyone who is walking this path is being guided by the same divine light. And so I do get the sense of soul tribe from this. The people who this person will meet on this new path will be much more aligned with them than what this person has experienced in previous connections. So they're going to find more understanding and more resonance. And it's because these people are at a similar energetic vibration. So while this path might look lonely, ultimately it won't be, because there's actually going to be more understanding and more soul tribe kind of connections on this path. I'm working backwards here, but we have the sun on the preceding oracle card. I was looking at the little stars around the sun, and then of course it came to me that the sun is a star as well. It is the star of our solar system. So this card is now giving me both sun card and star card vibes. So the sun card is about joy and light and happiness, and the star card is about hope, optimism, healing and recovery. So powerful energies. Now the card is titled When the Weavers Built the Sun. And so I write by channeling, and as I was writing this part, I was getting a little bit teary when I was channeling what this card was about. But what I was getting was that this is about how God gave us the sun to light our way and give us hope, and so that we could enjoy the sunshine and the beauty of the world. So God gave us the sun to give life to the world and colour to the world. And as I was channeling this, I was really feeling it deeply in my heart. It just like felt like a lot of love for the sun. And now I'm looking back to the nature card because of how that light frame around the card is glowing in comparison to all the darker cards that are here. And I'm seeing how nature is lit up with the light, that sunlight, the light that God's given us. And we're able to appreciate it because of the darkness. So this person in this storyline, they're appreciating the light because of all the darkness they've experienced. So we started with someone experiencing the moon card as their reality, and now the sun is shining in their life, and they're blown away by the beauty of this new path, this new experience. So this really is about an appreciation of this gift that God has given us. I'm reminded of how they say that if not for duality, we wouldn't appreciate anything. So this person is loving the light and clarity and freedom and colour and happiness that the sun brings to their life. And it's because they've experienced the opposite. So they definitely see the sun as divine light shining into their life. And I feel like it is exactly that. So the weavers did build the sun as per this card, and they built it for a purpose. And in fact, when you look at this image, there's all these little characters around the sun, and that's demonstrating the intentionality. The weavers built the sun, and it was intentional, it was purposeful. And I'm getting the concept of intelligent design as I look at this card. But I feel like this card is, the reason it affected me so much was I think I was resonating with the message because of the darker periods in my own life. And I guess they did give me the ability to appreciate the light. And in fact, they made me seek out the light of the divine in my life. And they've made me choose to follow the light, really. So that's perhaps the gift of darkness. So even as we appreciate the light, we also have to appreciate the darkness. So the weavers built the sun intentionally, and they made sure that we only got the sun for part of the day so that we would know the darkness as well. And I feel like it's because they knew we wouldn't appreciate the sun if we had it all the time. So if it was always shining in our life, always lighting up our world, we just wouldn't appreciate that. And the last oracle card here is titled First Quarter, and I can actually see duality in this image. So we've got that moon where half of it's lit up and the other half's dark. And the keyword on this card is focus, and I feel like this is saying that it's the contrast that brings things into focus, light and shadows. And that's an important concept, I think, in artistic composition. So that draws me back again to the nature card because of the light and shadow that gives that image so much depth and beauty. Now, the first quarter moon is the phase that's between the new moon and the full moon. And it struck me as potentially a card that speaks of timing. So the first quarter is an expression we often use to describe the first quarter of the year. And, well, that's where we are right now. So the first quarter would be January, February, March, and we've just started February. So with this image, I'm thinking that it's also talking about the midpoint. So the midpoint of the first quarter would be February. And I was also thinking about the first quarter moon and the fact that it must be pretty much now. And when I looked it up, it was tomorrow. And that's because we had the new moon sort of a week ago, so it would be perfect timing for that. So with both first quarter and first quarter moon both suggesting a now timing, I'm going to call this a now reading, and that's really why I'm uploading it a little bit early. So if you're watching this video now, we're talking about now. Obviously, I do intend that these are timeless readings, so I'm going to say that if you're watching this at some point in the future, the message of now is really coming through more strongly than the message of first quarter or first quarter moon. So whenever you're watching this, if this is resonating, the timing is now. So that midpoint vibe I was getting from that quarter moon image is saying that there is a new beginning that started in the darkness, because the new moon is the beginning and it's the darkest phase. And if you're here at this midpoint now, this is the point where the light becomes more prominent, more of the moon gets lit up. And the science of that is actually that the moon is reflecting more of the sun's light, right? So this is interesting to channel this. I feel like it's saying that if you've been living in darkness, the sun is not only now shining brightly in your life, but it's also bringing more light to the darkness you've experienced. So it's transforming that darkness into illumination, which would be the equivalent of the full moon. But I'm sorry, I had to just take a phone call just then, but I can't remember where I was. But I think I was talking about this, but the light is actually transforming all of that darkness in the past into something that's illuminated. So that would be the equivalent of the full moon. But because of this midpoint energy that I'm getting, you're in the middle of this process. So currently where you're at is that you're loving and embracing that divine light shining in your life, but it's actually going to be bringing you another blessing that you're not fully aware of yet. So it's going to illuminate your darkness and your shadows as well. And when you think about it, a full moon is beautiful, and I feel like that's saying you're going to see the beauty of the darkness as well. And there's already a hint of that coming through in this reading because of how we've had that message that duality is necessary and how light and shadow are both part of a beautiful artistic composition. They create depth and they create interest. So your experiences have made you beautiful and deep and interesting. And if you didn't realize this before, you're going to see that if you'd had a perfect life of never-ending sunshine, you really wouldn't be this beautiful person that you are. And I'm thinking back to the words intelligent design that came from the Weaver's card. So I feel like the Weavers made you as well. So they created a work of art with light and shadow, a person who's beautiful and deep and interesting. And really nothing's an accident to me. And the fact that I read these oracle cards backwards is getting my attention as well. So when you look at them in the spread, it starts with the night and the moon, and then there's the sun, and then the beautiful path that carries you into the future. And yeah, that's definitely your story, but I had to read it backwards. So I had to go backwards into the past. I had to explore the past. And to me, that's saying that this beautiful path in the future wouldn't be there in that future position if that past didn't happen. So you had to become the person who could look at this path and see how beautiful it is. You had to become the person who could choose this path and know in your soul that it is your path. Now, it's a beautiful path to you because it's just like you. It aligns with who you are. It's actually your manifestation, really. It's the future you've manifested. So you made choices that brought you from the past into the present, and you're now making the choices that take you into the future. And when you think about it, you could have kept ignoring that cup that the universe was offering you. You could have done that forever and you would have stayed stuck in that dark place forever. But you took the cup and it changed your life. It showed you the way out of the darkness. And the final gift that's coming through is that you're going to love your story, every single part of it. It's going to feel like that great piece of art or that great novel. You're going to see the relevance and the necessity of the darkness and the shadows. They're such an important part of your story, and you're going to see this and you're going to actually appreciate what those experiences brought to you. The darkness, it gave you the gift of perception because you learned to sense and feel what you couldn't see. The darkness gave you the gift of faith because you had to believe in things that you couldn't see. The darkness gave you the gift of confidence because you had to trust in yourself. The darkness gave you the gift of courage because you had to overcome so many fears. The darkness gave you the gift of empathy, understanding, and compassion because you know where other people are because you've been there too. So the weavers knew what they were building when they built you. You are the product of intelligent design. They were basically building you into a source of light because your story is going to inspire people who are still in the dark because they'll see that there's a way out of that darkness. You found a way out, and that means that they can too. And that's reminding me of a Rumi quote. It's something like reason says that the world is limited in 6 directions and there is no way out. Love says there is a way and I've walked it many times. It's a beautiful quote, but what it's about is about how it's love that leads you out of the darkness. So to get out of the darkness, you have to follow your heart. You have to make more aligned choices. If you're in the dark night of the soul, the way out is to keep making aligned choices. And these are basically choices that bring you more peace and more happiness. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, I mentioned it earlier, but I channel by writing, and that's why I make my videos this way. And I've noticed when other readers are speaking, they're channeling, they'll start coughing or struggling with their words sometimes. And to me, this is devil energy trying to block their words. Well, that's happening to me today. And the way it shows up for me is that my computer just grinds to a halt when I'm typing. So I try to type and it takes ages for the words to appear on the screen. So today has been the worst experience of that. And it's really just this conclusion part where I was talking about the ways in which the darkness has positively influenced you. Now, I don't think the devil wants you to know this. The devil wants you to be broken by those dark experiences. The devil wants you to stay afraid and to stay feeling hopeless. But the message that Spirit has delivered today is that you are meant to overcome the darkness and use all of those gifts to help others. You are meant to become a source of light. You are becoming what the weavers envisioned. So remember to always counter fear and hopelessness with love and faith and spirit. So that's a message for life, by the way, because the devil is always going to try to stop people ascending, and that's a fact. Now, I can actually feel my throat starting to tighten as I say this, so I think that devil energy is trying to affect that as well. But I do think I've said what I needed to say, so we'll stop the reading at this point. Okay, so this is the last slide. I am feeling my voice start to go, so I will try and keep this part brief. I'll be definitely glad when this gets uploaded. I feel like I did push to get it uploaded today because of the first quarter moon being tomorrow. And maybe the timing is important for someone out there that they get the message of this reading right now. Now, I won't go too much into the deck spiel that I normally do. I'm actually starting to feel a bit headachy as well. But the decks are, as always, listed in the description box. That's true for all my old readings as well. The Amazon links, there are affiliate links, so you can purchase the decks using those links. And if you do, I might qualify for a small commission. Now, if you're wanting to buy the decks, there is some extra information in the description box. I'm going to finish up by thanking you all for being here. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please give the video a like and leave a comment if you feel guided to. Thanks to everyone who is already subscribed. I'm so grateful for your support. And that's it. Take care, everyone. I hope today's reading makes it clear how important it is that we are all making aligned choices and shining as brightly as we can. Really, we are all potential sources of hope and inspiration to the people in our circles of influence. And so don't let the devil energy block you from being a source of light in this world. And I think that's all I'm really going to be able to say. I hope to see you all in a future video. Bye.